So my first tip for you is do it in the morning. Before you click off this video, let me explain. Doing it in the morning is just so much more refreshing, and you don't have to be reminded to do it because you're doing it in the morning. So it can literally just be waking up 10 minutes before you actually wake up. So if you wake up at like 6 o'clock, then maybe wake up at like 5:50 or 5:40 to like set aside time in the morning to do it. It's really not that hard. It just like sets out your day really well, just spending time with God, because when I used to do it during the day, I would always forget, and when I remember, it'll be like almost in the evening, I'll just like be rushing it. So it's helped me so much doing it in the morning, because now I do it every single day and it's not like a burden on me since I do it like as soon as I wake up. So it's very, very helpful doing that, and I would really advise you do that if you can do it. And especially like with school, usually after school it's so hard to find time to like do things like that. So I love doing it like before I go to school because it just sets out my day really nicely. My second tip is to make it cozy and enjoyable, and this is something that I got from someone in one of my comments. I'll put the comment up here. I don't remember who it was, but thank you so much for giving me this tip, because it's made my quiet time a lot more enjoyable. Like just being in my bed, having hot chocolate, and sometimes I do it in my bed when I just feel like being in that cozy mood, but sometimes I do it on my desk as well. So you can switch around, and also just like putting like lights on and having hot chocolate and everything, just setting that mood just makes it so much nicer and enjoyable to do your quiet time. It's not like you're doing your homework. My third tip is to have everything prepared the night before. So I have like my quiet time kit in my drawer, which I have a tin which I have my gel pens, my highlighters, my blue pen, my fine liner, and then I also have a pencil case where I have my felt tip pens and then like my calligraphy pens. Then I also have my Bible obviously, and then my Amplified Bible to like go in depth into like a lot of the verses that I read, and then my 2 devotions, Jesus Calling and my devotion for teen girls. Then I obviously have my journal which I write in after I read what I read for my quiet time. And just having that just makes it very helpful in the morning, just to like open my drawer and get all of these stuff out rather than having to rummage around my entire room looking for stuff. And I think it makes you more motivated as well, like just having everything set out the night before. So I'd really advise kind of making yourself a quiet time kit of like the stuff you want to use for your quiet time, and making it like more personal and stuff like that, because that would really help you like be more motivated to do your quiet time. The fourth tip is to start small. So don't set yourself a goal of doing your quiet time for 2 hours if you're literally just starting it, because when I first started doing it, I never actually did it for like that long. It would just be about like 15 minutes I think, and then after a while it just got like a lot bigger. Now I roughly do my quiet time around like 45 minutes to 1 hour, but before it was definitely not like that. It was literally just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then like slowly increasing. So don't expect too much of yourself, like to spend 2 hours with God, because if you start that and you never like actually end up spending 2 hours, then it can be very discouraging. But if you just set a timer for 10 minutes and say I'm going to spend these 10 minutes with God, and then you slowly increase it, it's going to be a lot more easier to like slowly slide into doing your quiet time for longer, if that makes sense. My fifth tip is very, very important, is to recognize your distractions and remove them. So for me, a number one distraction was my phone, and that is like the case for a lot of people, because phones can just like distract you so much. I spoke about that in my previous videos, so I'm not going to go like too in depth into that. So just switch your phone off, put it on do not disturb, put it in a different room, do whatever you have to do to just get it away from you and to like not get distracted by it. For other people, it might not just be their phones, it can be a particular book that you're reading that you're obsessed with. Maybe put that aside. So recognize the distractions that you think are taking you away from doing your quiet time, and take them away so that you can spend more time with God. So this will come with time. So as you're doing your quiet time, you'll find that certain things are distracting you, so just take them away. And it can even like be a sibling that keeps coming into your room. Maybe just have a talk with them and say, please let me have this time with God and like stop interrupting me. The sixth tip is to read a book in the Bible that you enjoy. So if you know me, you know that my favorite book in the Old Testament is 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel, because I just love those books so much. So if you like reading stories and stuff like that, I really recommend 1 Samuel, because they've got many stories in there that are really interesting, and some crazy stuff happens a lot. So I would really recommend that. Also the Gospels, because if you're like a new Christian, I would really recommend the Gospels. That's like the basic building blocks of our faith, and I think it's very helpful, like setting that like foundation of what the gospel really is. So I'd really recommend reading the gospel, so Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, and then Acts is also a really good book as well. So don't start off with a book like Leviticus or Numbers, because those books are really hard to understand. I went through those books and it literally made no sense to me because it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I would really recommend reading a book that you would enjoy and not something that will put you to sleep. And finally, my last tip is to try a new Bible study method. So I've been doing my quiet time now since 2018, and I have tried so many different methods in my journal. So if you go through my journals, you will see loads of different methods, and I guess that just what making like your quiet time very interesting, like being able to like switch things up. So in 2018, I just wrote a verse and then just like wrote stuff I learned, like it wasn't like a structure. 2019 I did the SOAP method: scripture, observation, application and prayer. And then in 2020 I literally just like was fed up of that method and did my own method, and I changed a lot of stuff, and that was basically the video that I did on how I study my Bible. That was like the method I was using then. And then in 2021, now I have gone back to the method I used in 2019, the SOAP method. I'm not planning on changing it anytime soon, but I know I will eventually get bored of it and want to change it, because I feel like that's just what makes a quiet time more interesting, and just like changing things around, like maybe one time going outside to do a quiet time, or like reading a new devotional, or watching a Bible study on YouTube. Like those kind of stuff just make it more interesting and add some oomph into your quiet time. So that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I'll be posting a lot more content that you guys would like. That's all I have for you today. God bless and goodbye.